What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first installment of Conversations with Narls, a place to hear stories, experiences, and advice from women making a difference in their careers or their communities. Today, we're talking to Dr. Toni, who's a holistic medicine specialist. She's going to give us a breakdown of the holistic medicine field, share with us what inspired her to become a doctor in this practice, as well as provide advice if this is a career path that you're interested in. So you know what, guys? Thank you so much for joining, and let's jump right in. Right, so Dr. Toni,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
To Conversations with Narls. It's a real pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you.
So for the people out there who are not familiar, can you give us a breakdown of what is holistic medicine?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, can you tell us what inspired you to become a doctor in this practice?
Okay, so holistic medicine or natural medicine is the study of the mind, body, and the spirit. So you have to culminate all three in order to process healing for an individual. So you start off with obviously the body. The person comes and they tell you about their different symptoms, things that they have experienced and everything. And then we delve more into, well, how is their mind?
Mm-hmm.
What is their diet like? What is their spirit like? What do they go to church? Do they do any recreational things? Do they do any relaxation? Do they work? All those things combined actually affect the health of a body.
Right.
So the reason I went into that profession is because first I felt like a teacher, to teach people, to educate. That's the whole point of holistic medicine, to educate people, the masses, about their health.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people go through life and they do certain things that affect their body that they don't realize it would be affected later on in life.
Right.
So based on how they eat, maybe what they do at work, maybe a very stressful job, they always work and never relax. Another thing would be they always worry about everyone else and never about themselves. All those things affect their lifestyle and eventually their health. So first, it went straight to me, like I was very interested in the profession because of the fact that I'm able to educate people about their health,
Right.
so that they could see the source of why things were occurring,
Right.
and not just going into the symptoms, say, hey, take this, and then the symptom goes away, but the issue is still underlying.
Right.
So the issue comes back and full force and worse, and they wonder why, because they never figured out what the source of the issue was.
Right. Can you tell us what was your education and training process?
Yeah. So my background is in finance and real estate development, so I have a master's in that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Wow.
then as I was going through it, and I worked in banking for 7 years,
Yeah.
and during that time, my background, literally where I started, were with my parents. They had a health food store in the island of St. Croix.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was in banking, you get to see like the demographics, and you understand finance and where things are moving and how people are reacting to the markets.
Right.
And I realized that my first love, or what I grew up in, was health. So I did grow up pescatarian or vegetarian, and that was my first love, to
Right.
be in that field. As I got older, I realized it was something that I really wanted to be in, because I wanted to be an educator,
Mm-hmm.
to be a doctor, because that's what a doctor is, an educator, to teach people. And I felt like I was not making much of a difference in banking versus if I would actually be able to be with people. Like, I'm a humanitarian at heart. I love helping people.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I was doing much in that area, and I wanted to explore more of my purpose
Right.
in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. And I really like how you explain what a doctor is, because people don't necessarily think about a doctor in that context, that they
Yeah.
are educators, they're here to teach.
Yes.
So it's really nice to hear it in that way. And I'm sure a lot of people out there are interested in this career path. So is there some general advice you can give to someone who would like to become a holistic doctor?
Yes, sure. The general advice I would say is go into it with an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
You would get people that would think that all you do is herbs. You don't, because a traditional medicine doctor looks at the deficiencies of a body. So maybe your makeup, you may be deficient in an amino acid, a vitamin, a supplement, a mineral, we don't know. But once we get to know the person and look at their diet and do our own test based on the things that we have available to us, we're able to tell what that person is deficient to provide health later on. Because that's, as we get older, we are each born with a finite number of eggs, a finite number of different minerals or vitamins or whatever that's in the body that is able to produce. And that's why it's such a huge market right now. Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, all those things with the different vitamins and what people should eat and what it shouldn't, organic.
Yes.
It's a huge market right now, and it's because they realize people are not eating as they should and they're deficient in certain things. So if someone is interested in that field, they need to first see their own health. What do they think as they're going through? What do they feel would be their focus? Like, don't go into it thinking you're going to be going into it and thinking, oh, I'm only going to learn about this one herb. It's not. It's a gamut of different things.
Right.
And if you're interested in learning and teaching others, then I say by all means go into it.
From your experience, the top 3 qualities that a holistic doctor needs to have.
Right. So patience, because there will be times when you are trying to work with a client and they will tell you it still hurts, or they're still having the same issue, or it's worse than it is before. You have to be able to have patience in order to, again, educate and teach them about their body.
Right.
Because sometimes they come to you and they're 60 or 70 and they've had this issue for over 10, 15 years and they expect it overnight. And that is not traditional or natural medicine. It takes time. The same, if you have patience, then the second one is you must be able to give back. So you can't go into traditional medicine thinking it's all about making money. You actually have to be a humanitarian. You have to be able to see people sometimes for free, because you have to have a heart, you have to have a soft spot.
Right.
Because not everyone would be able to afford traditional medicine or natural medicine services. And the last one is you have to be able to, another attribute I saw was in myself, patience, humanitarianism. And then the third, I would think more of, you want people to know that they can come to you. So you have to have like an open mind, an open personality, because some people are nervous about talking to doctors about their health.
Right.
And they sometimes keep things aside. So I've had a few clients that have cried in my office and felt like they needed to walk out right away. No, you have to be able to let them be able to know that they can come to you with anything, because again, going back to the base of it, it's the mind, body, and the spirit. So if they break down, give them that chance to break down. Right. You're not a psychologist, you're not a psychiatrist, none of that. But you are able to just listen. So be able to just listen to what they're saying, and not, because sometimes we listen and don't go back and want to give advice right away without actually hearing what the person says.
Right, processing.
Just keep quiet and let them talk.
Right.
Because sometimes that even helps.
So it's like a compassion.
Yes.
To the next degree.
Yes.
So it's like, is there a quote or something you want to share with us today, that you want to leave us with, some kind of gem that you look to for inspiration?
An inspirational quote? One day at a time, actually. I literally just take it one day at a time. I live life one day at a time, and I don't look back. So if something has happened and it has affected a situation forward, I look at it at what it is, and I say every disappointment is a blessing.
Right.
That's how I look at it. That's my quotation. Because if I go about and think like, this person did me wrong, or this happened, or I wasn't able to complete this, I don't know, it could have been keeping me from something that I should not be at.
Absolutely.
So I've had a few moments where a disappointment was a blessing. Like it happened once or twice, and I just keep that as my focus point, because every time I think about it, it tells me that there is a God that is looking after me.
Yeah.
And that if, say for instance, I did not believe that it was a blessing and I was against it all the time, I would not see the other door that was open.
Right.
So it literally was, that's how I went through life. Like if it wasn't something that's supposed to happen, I let it alone.
That's a wonderful perspective, because there's a bigger picture, and you know, there's a yin and a yang. With the negative, there's a positive, and sometimes for the good thing to happen, some negative things might happen along the way. So it's important, and I appreciate that you look at life like that, that people see the bigger picture.
Yes.
So that's wonderful, wonderful takeaway. Dr. Toni, thank you so much for the wealth of information and advice that you shared today. And you guys out there, thank you so much for watching this installment of Conversations with Narls. If you enjoyed the content, please like, follow, and share. And I definitely have more in store for you.